Hi. I had a revelation last night while I was on a call in my anxiety mentorship. I'm going to make this for two audiences, really. The people that are in the mentorship with me, and then I might share this with people that are not in the mentorship. So I'm going to speak to just people in general right now. But last night while I was on a call in the group mentorship, I got corrected by one of the coaches. I got corrected by Mirka in the program. And I haven't been corrected in a while. And I was actually really glad that Mirka caught something that I said. So I've been in a setback on this anxiety journey for about a month and a half almost now, if I'm being fully honest with myself. I had a massive panic attack on August 2nd at a golf course, and I resisted, I responded, I reacted to the fear with way more fear and everything. I resisted that moment so bad, and I responded with, oh no, here it comes again. I thought I was doing better. Why is this happening? What if this is the real thing? Because I've been doing so good, I shouldn't be scared anymore. Because I'm scared, that must mean something's wrong. And I got in my car and I drove to the urgent care. And it was the same story all over again. Nothing's wrong. And then I said, okay, well, just had a little moment of weakness. I'll be okay. But then a pattern developed again. When anytime symptoms would return or thoughts, fear would come. And I developed a bad relationship to fear. A bad habit crept back in. That when I feel fear, that must mean something bad is going to happen. Something is wrong. And then fear became the trigger for resistance and more fear. Because I had lost this awareness of, oh yeah, fear is a part of this journey. And it's okay to feel afraid. It's okay when I have thoughts of I'm going to die or I might die. And then I have feelings and sensations that go with it, like chest pain, chest tightness, heart palpitations, throat tightness, breathlessness. Even though I knew intellectually what all of this was, it was because my nervous system was sensitive to adrenaline and cortisol. I had, my stress threshold had been overwhelmed, and I lacked the ability to respond. So I started reacting in fear. And then you fall into the cycle, the fear of fear. The fear of how the fear makes you feel. That's what it means to be sensitized. You begin to be afraid of what it feels like to be afraid. And your body panics. And then you start to avoid any situation where you might feel the fear, because you hate the way the fear feels. I know this sounds kind of like a Dr. Seuss book, but those of you that are in this cycle know what I'm talking about. I hate the way I feel when I'm afraid, so I become afraid of how I feel when I'm scared. And so, very subtly, starting on August 2nd with that panic attack, I began to fall back into the cycle of being afraid of fear. And so from August 2nd all the way until yesterday, when I had another bad panic attack, when I felt the fear, instead of accepting it and accepting the fact that, yep, you're scared right now, I would resist it. Like, don't be scared. Just don't be scared. If I'm not scared, these feelings will go away. So just don't be scared. And that's not accepting it. That is resisting it. And it made it worse because I started being afraid of fear again. And so what I've learned, I had a great example of it this morning, actually, while I was getting my kids ready for school. My daughters they were upsetting me. They weren't listening to me. So I started to get angry. And then something almost set me off in my anger. And I almost reacted in anger. The feeling in me was so strong. And then I caught myself. I took a moment and I said, it's okay to be angry, but you don't need to respond in anger. You felt angry, and that's fine. It's okay to be angry. It's a normal human emotion. And so I was able to catch myself in that moment and say, in my head, Tom, I acknowledge I'm angry. I labeled it as a normal human emotion. I accepted the anger. It's okay to be angry. Now I'm going to refocus on how to keep getting my girls ready for school in a productive way, and we're going to move on. And I did not allow myself to react in anger, because how often do we, when we feel anger and we don't catch ourselves and say, okay, this is actually okay to feel angry right now. And we just allow anger to have its way with us. I believe we can do the same thing with fear. And if you are stuck in the anxiety panic cycle, this is actually at the root of what it means to recover from this. So let's replay yesterday in my classroom when I had this panic attack. I'm teaching, and this is how it went yesterday. Okay, I feel the symptoms. I feel scared. Okay, just ignore it all. Just ignore that it's happening. Ignore the symptoms. Ignore that you're scared. Don't be scared. And then, just like if I tell you, don't think about a purple elephant. Whatever you resist persists. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't think about your symptoms. Just don't. And then what happened? It's all I could think about. And then, ironically, when you resist fear, it doubles. And then you develop the second fear, the fear of fear. So let's replay it yesterday. What I should have done, and what I will attempt to do in the future, is if the same thing happens, even if I need to step outside of my classroom for a sec, just say, hey guys, I got to run out in the hallway for just a second. I'll be right back. I go out in the hallway and I just have a brief powwow with myself and say, okay, you feel all these feelings, you feel these symptoms, and you're afraid right now. I know what this is. I know that it's anxiety, so I'm going to label it all as anxiety. Even the fear. The fear is a part of the anxiety. And then I'm going to accept that I'm scared. You're scared right now. And it's okay to be scared. You know why you're scared? Because this is scary. It feels scary. These thoughts are scary. And the feelings you feel are scary. The symptoms you feel are scary. You're going to accept it. And we're just going to keep teaching while we're scared. And it will get easier as I practice. But right now I'm pretty scared. And just like the example I gave with anger, I can choose how to respond in the midst of fear. But I have to accept that I'm afraid first. I have to. Because if I push it away and I say, just toughen up, you're not scared, and I lie to myself and I don't accept my emotions, I create more problems for myself internally. A lot more problems. It's not acceptance. we have to come to grips that this is scary. We have to come to terms with it. And I think I allowed myself, because I've been on this journey now for about a year of practicing acceptance. I started lying to myself, saying, well, you've been in this for so long that you're not supposed to be afraid of it anymore. So if you feel fear, if fear hits you, that wave of fear that we get when we feel our symptoms or our thoughts start hitting us, we feel this wave of fear. And at the beginning, I was actually really good at responding. I was actually just like, okay, I'm scared. I am scared. And this is what it feels like to be scared. I'm accepting that I'm scared. And all of this is because I'm scared. And I'm going to refocus on my life, and I'm going to live. And I'll be scared while I do it. Just like I talked to my daughters while I was angry. I didn't resist the anger. I just accepted it. I feel angry. And then I chose how to respond. Just like the fear. I accept that I'm scared. I'm going to respond with bravery, meaning I'm going to keep living while scared. Pushing fear away, resisting fear, leads you to actually develop more of the fear. And I believe the same thing is true with anger. Pushing the anger away, not even taking a moment to accept that you're angry, is going to perpetuate anger. You're going to get more frustrated that you're angry, and it's going to cause you to respond or to react in anger more often. If you get good at catching yourself and accepting, okay, I'm feeling angry right now. I accept that I'm angry, and now I'm going to choose how to respond or choose how to act. Same thing with the fear. I accept that I'm afraid. I accept it. And I'm going to choose how to act or respond in this moment. So, I'm going to begin again, 9 months in. I'm going to go back to the basics. I'm going to go back to alarm. And if I'm afraid, I'm going to start accepting that I'm afraid. I think that's a big deal. And I think it's something I got lazy with. It's something that I started pushing away. It's something that I started thinking I was recovered before I actually am. And I started making recovery the goal, which leads you to you begin white knuckling life. And I think that's what I was doing. Instead of just accepting that I'm still in this and it's okay to be in this. It's okay to be afraid. But what I was doing was like, don't be afraid. If you feel fear, resist it. Don't feel the fear. Don't feel the fear. And as we've learned in this program, resisting things allows them to persist. So if I want the fear to go away someday, because it will, but the only way it'll ever go away, the fear of this sensitized nervous system, because I have so much fear developed around this, guys. And it's crazy because I know what this is. I know I'm not in danger. I know that I'm not. My worst case scenarios that my brain keeps feeding me, I know they won't happen. But because, and I'm sensitive though, so when I have these waves, I still feel the fear. And I started believing that wasn't okay. When in actuality, the only way for it to go away is for you to say it is okay. Isn't this weird? But it makes sense. Once you apply it to your life, it makes sense. And I need to stop chasing recovery because I began to chase it again. And I think deep down in the back of my mind, as I chased recovery or started lying to myself saying, well, I am desensitized because I say so. Anytime those symptoms or feelings or fears would come back, I would hardcore resist because I didn't want to believe the truth. You're not desensitized. And guess what? That's okay. Remember, recovery is a consequence of doing the right things and living your life and accepting the things we hate about how we feel and think. So next time you feel fear, be honest with yourself. You know what it is. You've done all the education. If you've gone through the modules, you know why you have the fear. You know it. It's because of your sensitized nervous system. That's why you're afraid. It's making you feel crazy. It's making you feel unhealthy. It's making you feel like you're having some sort of health episode or nervous breakdown or mental breakdown. It's making you feel all these things because it's trying to protect you from danger. But really the danger that it's trying to protect you from is the feelings you've developed from fear, which is so crazy that our bodies can fall into this cycle. It's so mind-blowing to me. So next time you feel a wave, and this actually might be a more advanced video for people that are farther along, like 6+ months in, the integration members, I think we get stuck because we think we shouldn't be afraid anymore, or we think we shouldn't have symptoms anymore because we put in all this work, when that's never been what the mentors have told us. It's not what we signed up for. We learned in the early days, in the first 3, 4, 5 months, we learned the only way to get out of this is to just accept it fully and to live life with it, and not to put an end date on this, just to say it is what it is. And every time it happens, whenever it happens, wherever it happens, around whoever, in whatever context, it's always alarm. Acknowledge it all. Put it under the umbrella. I know what all of this is. Intellectually, I know what all of this is. And I accept how it makes me feel and the emotions that come with it. I accept all of that. And now, to the best of my ability, I'm just going to I'm going to refocus on what it is I'm trying to do or attempting to do, or what I am doing. For me, most of the time, it's like teaching or playing golf or whatever it is. And I'm going to move on. And the hard part is if you truly accept it, you're okay with it being there for as long as it wants to be. That's the hard part, because then, if you're accepting it to make it go away, you're not okay with it being there for very long. And then you start forcing acceptance, over accepting, accept. If you catch yourself doing that on repeat, you're probably trying to make it go away. Make the fear go away. Make the feelings go away. Make the focus of how you feel go away. But if you really do accept, you're okay with it staying for as long as it needs to stay. And you're just going to do your best to live your life in that moment. And if it sticks around the entire day, that's really hard. I've had days like that. Or if it decides to leave, you don't attach acceptance to the results of what happened. You just accept. And that's the practice we need to do. So I know this was a long video, but it's something that clicked with me last night. It clicked for me last night, and it's clicking even more for me this morning. And I think it's a bad habit that I developed, was resisting the fear. And I'm gonna not do that anymore. Or I'm gonna try not to. I'm gonna accept. If I'm afraid, okay, you're afraid. And I'm not gonna resist, and I need to just keep living my life. All right, friends. Goodbye.